Thanks for visiting Patient Weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health risk for February 9th, 2026. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com, and we maintain a Patient Weather storefront on Amazon. Amazon purchases made through our storefront support the activities of Patient Weather. Looking at the surface map for the 9th, we see a series of little minor low-pressure centers stretching all the way from California across Nevada, Utah, and Wyoming. A little bit of unsettled weather here in Wyoming and across Nevada into northern California. The main low-pressure center still remains well north of Minnesota, and that is keeping some activity across the upper lakes. Looking at our vitality index, you can see that this composite of all of those individual weather elements has a lot of action and activity going on in the Pacific Northwest, even more across the Great Lakes and all the way down into the south and southeast, and really through the middle Atlantic states up to the southern portions of New England. Looking at pressure change, rising pressure will be the risk across Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and into Montana. But falling pressure will stretch all the way from California, across southern Nevada, through the Four Corners, across the Texas Panhandle, into Kansas, and then across to Iowa, north into Minnesota, across Wisconsin, Michigan, into the Upper Lakes, and then south from Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa, picking up portions of West Virginia. Looking at the change in temperatures, and this is a welcome burst. There is some cool air moving into the northwest, but from everywhere east of the plains, especially in the heart of the Ohio Valley and the Upper Lakes, a very nice warm-up. Of course, that just means back to near normal temperatures. Dew point temperatures reflecting the same thing, falling in the Pacific Northwest, rising everywhere east of the plains. Vapor, again, just confirming it, although that moisture increase here on vapor is very significant in the southeast. Looking at our measure of available oxygen in the atmosphere, you'll see we have a risk of migraine here in the inland central portions of central California, and across much of Nevada, western Oregon, and western Washington, very significant across Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, all the way into the Dakotas, again quite significant there in the Dakotas. Looking at the risk of asthma and arthritis, it seems to be almost everywhere on the 9th, starting here in the Four Corners, although not as widespread. But once you make it to the plains, Oklahoma and Kansas, significant, and then even more significant from Louisiana up to Minnesota, and everywhere east, all the way through Pennsylvania, even into New England, except for the state of Maine, and of course a little bit spotty here in Florida. But all in all, the most significant areas here across Iowa and very much in the eastern Ohio Valley, Ohio, West Virginia, western Pennsylvania, Michigan, and up the lakes. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated. And if you hurt, tell us where you're located.